Alright, everybody, the haves and the have-nots review. I know I missed the first episode of the season doing the review of it, but I've had a busy couple of weeks, and by the time I had time to do a review, I was too tired to do it, and sometimes I don't get to watching the episode right away. But this week I'm ready to do it, and next week I'll try to get it up a little bit earlier than a couple of days after the episode, so bear with me a second while I get my notes up here. Got them on my phone this time for easier, so I can have easier access. Okay, so last week it ended where Benny and Candace saw on the news that there was a shooting at the Cryer house. And Benny thinks Candace had it done, and she's like, no. And once again, Benny is pushing her to keep this money and saying, well, if he's dead, you can keep the money and all of this. And Candace was really not for it because she didn't want anybody coming after her family. And she said, I already lost my son. And but Benny is still insistent. He's like, keep it. And he's saying that because he knows that Candace will give him a cut of that cash. He knows that. And so he decides to go wake up Hannah to clue her in on what's happening, because he knows that she can find out exactly what happened over there, whether or not Jim is dead, because of course that's who Benny seems to be worried about the most, being dead, is Jim, because Jim's the one who wanted the money. So if Jim is dead, then it doesn't matter what happens to the money, they can probably keep it, because Catherine was like, she said before, Hannah, keep it. So they wake up Hannah and she goes off. But before she left, she tried to call Catherine, and there was no answer. So let's get over to David's house, and they're in the aftermath of being, shot at, and they fought the guys that Veronica. They fought them off. The guys that Veronica sent over there, they fought them off. They held off their fire, and they took out a couple of them. And David, last week he was very angry and he wanted to go after Veronica again, but this week he didn't want to tell the police that it was her that targeted them. And Jeffrey's like, no, it was my mother. She goes and gets her nails done. I forget where he said she got them done. It's like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. She got them done at this place. He told the police that. He told the police where she lived, and David didn't want to do that. And Jeffrey's like, no, it has to stop. Jeffrey is just fed up, and it's understandable. I mean, she tried to have them killed, so of course Jeffrey's gonna be fed up. So back at Hannah's house, Mitch arrives because him and Benny were supposed to go out. And he's telling Candace that he loves her and that he can, if she needs anything handled, she knows that he can get it done. But Candace does not seem too interested in any man right now, or anything at all. She's just sitting there on the couch. I mean, I think she's finally had enough of, being she's had enough of, like messing around and getting entangled and stuff. It's like, I'm done. I probably need to do what my mother has been telling me to do all these years and, walk a straight, narrow path. She seems to be getting towards that, but we'll see how she progresses throughout the season. So, Derek calls the house phone, and clearly he did that because I imagine that's supposed to mean that Hannah blocked his number. He called the house phone, and Candace answered, and she was like, well, who would call a house phone? Derek thinks that it's Hannah. He's like, Hannah, please don't hang up. And Candace, she tells him, because he asks, "Who is this?" And Candace says, "Well, apparently I'm your daughter." And they have a little conversation, and she says, "Well, I'm not ready to meet yet. We'll we'll do it sometime." So she's got to sort that out, because I think she does want a meeting, but she wants to do it on her own terms. Because last week she asked Hannah, "Should I call him or whatever?" And Hannah said, "Well, I don't ever want to talk to him again, but you know, you probably should talk to him." Um, okay, so over at Wyatt's house, Wyatt's old place, Catherine had put Broderick up there, and Rocky came over, and Broderick was like, "Look at all this, isn't this great?" And he's saying, "Well, I'm gonna get it, Catherine, to put it in my name, so it'll all be good." And Rocky is a lot more skeptical, and he's like, this is gonna end, because with Catherine, I believe, shoot, I can't remember. Should have wrote that down. I think they knew about the shooting, and they found out about the shooting, and Rocky's like, "Well, this is gonna end like so." As much say as I can enjoy it while it lasts, because it's gonna end. So that was that. That was a little scene that was thrown in there. And so at the hospital, Justin keeps ringing the bell. He's like, ring, 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 ring. And Madison tells the other nurse who's working the desk with him, "Will you please go check on him?" Because obviously Madison doesn't want to deal with Justin. So the other nurse goes in there, and she's saying, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And he's like, "I want Madison. I want Madison." So she goes back out and says, "Just go find out. Go check, find out what he wants." And Madison goes in there, and Justin's putting on his socks, and he's like, "I'm leaving." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, so you couldn't have told the other nurse this?" And I knew what Justin was going to try to pull. I knew he was going to get around to it. And Madison's saying, "You can't. You're under arrest." And so Justin says that his lawyer contacted him and said, "Well, I made bail, and my lawyer says that I'm free to go." And he's like, "I need help putting my clothes on." And he really didn't need any help. And he was not getting what he wanted from Madison, because Madison was like, was very strict with him. He's well helping him put his shirt on. He's like, "Arms," and he was not giving Justin what he wanted. And Justin's all like, "Do you work out? I can see that." And Madison was not having it. I'm like, "Justin, you busted up the man's car, and you clearly are crazy." And Madison is not for that. And Madison's not Jeffrey. He's not the type to, play around with that crazy stuff. And so Justin basically got shut down. So he's back to his weird, crazy self already. It was rather quick that he got back to it. So Landon, he's at a bar, and he meets up with, what's his name, Oliver. And he's still angry, and he tells him, "Well, if you get the chief of staff position, I will kill you." And Oliver, he keeps saying, "I didn't get you fired," and all of that. And Landon was acting sort of immature here. And so he gets up and leaves the table. He's like, "I hate you," or whatever. And he gets up and leaves the table. And then later he comes back and sits down at the table. And he starts kind of going back and forth again with Oliver. And then he says, and then he blurts out, "Well, what I need is to get naked." And then Oliver's like, "I can't help you with that." And he gets up and leaves. And Landon says he hates this guy, but I felt like he was kind of testing him to see what he would say. If to, I felt that Landon was testing Oliver to get what kind of response he would give if Landon said he wanted to get naked. I mean, well, Oliver obviously was not having that, because he left. And then Landon sees this guy sitting at a table, and he starts hitting on him and all of that. And the guy's like, "Look, I just want to study. I'm not interested." And so then after that, Landon sees somebody in the corner, and he takes out his phone, starts taking a picture, and the guy that he was hitting on is like, "Are you taking a picture of me?" And he was like, "No, no, no." And it turns out that, and I forget what this guy's actual position was, but he was on last season, and it something to do with the White House. But Landon saw him with a woman that was not his wife, and he clicked a picture, and basically Landon's going to use that picture to blackmail him. Landon didn't say how he's going to use it, exactly what he's going to use it to get, but it's like, okay, I'll let you know. You'll know what I want to do when I know. And so I guess he's just keeping the guy on. He's gonna keep the guy in the dark and kind of like squirming, waiting for the ball to drop or something. So Landon also called Candace, and he was saying, I can fix this, I can fix this. And Candace is like, no, I don't want any part of this, and I'm just a pawn. And Landon's like, of course you're a pawn. And Landon was only calling her because he wanted to get his job back. And anyway, Candace does not want any part of this, at least for the time being. So Veronica is at home, and then she got a call from Celine, and I'm like, we know our friend Celine, our old friend Celine, is back. And because Veronica saw her working at the hospital last week, and Celine called her, and I'm like, Celine, you're an idiot for getting involved with Veronica, because she obviously has some reason for trying to get involved with Celine. She wants to use her for something, and I'm like, Celine's a fool for that. So Veronica, she sits down like trying to relax or whatever, and that guy she hired to kill David and Jeffrey, he comes in and he has his whole gang come in, and there probably was like 20 people there. And Veronica, she was scared, but obviously she couldn't show that she was scared because she's like the big tough person that's not supposed to be afraid of anything. So she's sitting there and she is like, she tells them all that they smell. I think wait, I wrote it down like, I think somehow she worked in Roach's check cashing places and fried chicken. So basically, she was describing a low income neighborhood. She said they smelled terrible. And this guy, he was just trying to make sure that Veronica was following through on getting those funeral arrangements done, and she said she got it together. She started a college fund for the guy's kids, and she's like, they're not going to go anyway, but I started it. So she was shook. And once everything was clear, the guys left. He sort of signaled for them to leave, and there was this one that kind of lingered, and she's like, I could work with that if you do something with your hair and take a bath. I could work with that. And then he leaves, and once all of them are gone, she's like, it smells like broke ass in here right now. Okay, so um, so Hannah gets to the Crier mansion, and the media, they're putting a microphone in her face. What happened to you? Blah, 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 and all of that. And the police let her in. And before she can go in, she stops and she talks to Wyatt. Wyatt got her attention, and she's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I shot him," and he's just smiling like he's so proud of what he did. And Hannah goes on the house and she sees Jim on the stretcher all shot. And she goes to see Catherine, and so Catherine is fine. Wyatt, he didn't shoot her, he shot over her, and I don't know if he spared her intentionally or not, because I think he hates her a little bit less than he hates Jim, because clearly he hates Jim with a passion. So maybe he spared Catherine intentionally. Oh, and I should mention in the last episode, Wyatt said something about shooting Amanda, so I don't know what that's about. So, and Hannah gets up there with Catherine, and Catherine actually seemed concerned about Jim, and I'm like, why? The man treats you like trash. He's cheating on you multiple times. He has children by another woman, and he's just so disrespectful to her, and yet she's worried about his well-being. Right. So let me check my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Oh, I lost him. Wait, hold on. Not much left, so so the DA comes in and he starts asking all these questions. Um, he asks Catherine if she needs a doctor, does she need to go to the hospital, all of that. And all of a sudden he says, you're under arrest for the murder of Jennifer Sallison. And for a minute I forgot that Catherine did that, and I was like, what? And then I was saying, and I said, oh, that's right, she did shoot Jennifer down in the old house. So Catherine's in trouble with that. We'll see if she can wriggle her way out of that one. But so next week we see that I think it's next week we see that he's bragging about shooting them, and Catherine's like, you'll live to regret it. Because she was in disbelief that he actually did it, and I'm like, I don't know why she was surprised, because he's messed up on drugs, he hates them, and all of that. But that was the haves and the have-nots for this week, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Good day.